Hey folks, my name is Pravus and welcome to more After Ink Revival as we continue with our Mega Brutal Guide series. We're moving on to Silent Screams. Repeated dysentery outbreaks have nearly broken the will of this bunker. The strong carry the weak out into the fresh air and prepare to rebuild. This mission's a little bit odd in that you can kind of stumble through it blindly, and as long as you play well and adapt a little bit to meet your objectives, you can get a surprisingly high score without really trying too hard. At least that's kind of what I found this time around. I got a Mega Brutal run with a very, very solid score in preparation for this video, and I didn't really mean to. Now that could be that I had a really good set of leaders and traits. Hopefully we can repeat that this time and not get horribly screwed over. Okay, this looks very similar to the last video, so let's go ahead and play with the Tyrant this time around. We can send fighters to suppress a settlement during an uprising and prevent any authority loss. Though if they do successfully rebel against me, we lose a lot of authority, so that would be very bad. The big upside to the Tyrant is that impatience takes a bit longer to kick in, so that gives me a little bit more time to accomplish my goals. For our traits, oh boy, these are kind of awful actually. Okay, so we could go for a scavenge discount. That would save me 2 stamina. 62% production is good enough as far as like a break point to get some extra resources, so it's okay. Population would actually be a little dangerous. I'm debating whether I have enough starting resources to make up for my needs here. We might, and if so, a little extra stamina production might be helpful, but it also might get me killed. I think we have to go for probably resourceful. The scavenge discount actually could be useful for us, and you'll see why in just a little bit. Let's go ahead and get started. I'll show you what the map looks like. So this map is divided by a river straight down the middle. There's an eastern and western half. I really don't have any reason to cross the river into the eastern side. Everything you're going to need is on the western side. So that's going to limit a little bit of your exploration and your expansion, and that's kind of helpful in some ways. But mostly, though, you're going to have to deal with some of these infestations and then be able to build wide and then tall. Let me show you what these objectives look like. First, we need to produce 5 fuel. And since we're starting in winter, that's very important to do right away. Then we have to explore 6 areas and reach population 4. Afterwards, we cleanse 2 infestations, so the one to our north and the one to the northwest will be fine. Then claim 8 areas. So this is where you have to kind of be aggressive with your fighters and your explorations, really expanding wide, casting a wide net, dealing with the zombies quickly. After that, you turtle down and build tall. We have to reach technology 5 and then population 8, but you have a pretty decent amount of time to accomplish these as long as you don't sit around. Finally, we have to stockpile 6 stone, and you can do that with just a simple scavenge or 2, so this one's a very, very easy capstone. Kind of a weird map. Build wide, then tall. But if you do that, you'll be fine. Let's settle down. I'm going to explore over here in the forest. We're going to go for probably 1 wood scavenge to start. No food, simply because I'm already stockpiled, but that's not going to stay that way for long. I am going to scavenge some fuel, though, because we're going to need that to get the 5 fuel going. And since we're in winter, I have to first build the makeshift fire pit. Do that before you get a well, otherwise your morale, which is already at negative 90%, is going to be a huge problem for you. Then I can go ahead and pick up a couple of tents. I've actually got a little bit of extra stamina sitting around. I'm tempted to say that I should go for a fighter right off the bat. That might be stupid, but I'm going to do it because having a fighter means that maybe I can get some easier explorations, make that cheaper. We will see if that works out for us. I want to claim this region over here, and probably want to immediately start working on getting a firewood splitter just to make sure I'm producing some of that excess fuel. I don't think it'll be a problem, but I want to be safe on that front. All right, so our authority is looking kind of bad, but at least minus 7%. Look at that. Ow! Ow! That's the sort of thing I'm talking about. It's just mean. It's just mean, dude. Let's get ourselves another well. All right, so now at least we are out of the winter, so the immediate issues have gone away. I still need to scavenge a little bit of fuel, though I'm capped out, which means our scavenge isn't working. Okay, go for a storage module here just to make sure that we can keep that going a little bit. I just need to get 1 more fuel. There it is. All right, done. Now we have to explore some areas. I'm going to explore the areas directly to my north, trying to get up to 6 relatively quickly. We have the next population, so let's go for that basic toilet. We probably will need some more water production in a minute. I'm debating whether we need that right now. We could start scavenging food, but my food is actually looking fine just from the exploration I've been doing up to this point. So let's continue to explore in the immediate areas nearby. I'm trying to get up to 6, remember, so 3 more will do the job. Get these 2, and then we'll see. Maybe this one will be better to go ahead and explore across the bridge just so I can see any zombies coming. Make sure that I have ample warning before anything comes back to get me. Yeah, we do need to get 1 more well. I kind of thought we would be there as far as our needs, but sure enough. All right, rotten food. Sure, we'll go ahead and throw some of this away. We don't have any food production yet, which is why we do have to expand down over in this direction. And I am going to explore probably wherever it is cheapest. How about right along here? Then let's go ahead and claim this region. So I will be able to get some food production going. I probably wouldn't have worried about it, except that we did have a spoilage event, so that's going to be an issue. All right, now we have our 6 areas. We need to reach population 4. I'm already working on population 3, so we're not that far behind, but I do need to think about getting up to technology 3, or we're not going to be able to meet the needs of our 3rd pop. So let's go ahead and get started on that, but I've got to get some food production going, so let's go for the grain field. There are some apples down here at 4 stamina, though. It's a little on the pricey side, so not exactly my favorite thing to grab. We have technology 2, that means I can get myself a makeshift kitchen. I do want to get myself probably another storage module here for some fuel. And probably would like to get the lumber yard going so we have some lumber production, since right now I've got pretty much nothing. We can go for some extra grain fields, and food is kind of going to be one of our big threats right now. Like, we've really got to get some food going, but I don't have anything good to work with here. Let's go ahead and explore down in this direction. We could explore over here as well, but I think I'll hold off on that for the moment. There's some more food production to be had. Do I want to claim that for 3 stamina? It's a little bit risky. Frog collecting. Chance of unrest, I can handle that because I'm playing as the tyrant, so that's not a big deal. With the extra stamina, then, I'm going to go ahead and grab the extra grain field. I'm going to go for the lumber yard. And then, yeah, we probably do need to go ahead and grab this fuel right here, field right here, otherwise we're not going to be able to produce enough food to survive the winter. I'm probably going to get some storage going as well, let's be honest. I'm very much dependent upon having my food grown more than anything. Get a firewood splitter here as well, just making sure that we have plenty of firewood. That's the thing that we are going to burn through the fastest. I've got 5 grain coming out of a single field, so like that is pretty good. Let's get an improved housing. I know we're out of wood, so we'll do another scavenge here as well. I'm looking at these infestations with a little bit of suspicion. I probably would like to explore this region just to make sure that we're not going to have an issue. And there's some unrest, but I do have a fighter that I can use to quell it. My fighter does take some damage, but let's be honest, that's not that big of a deal. A new garden for Oregon City. We get ourselves a lot of food if I do this. That might be worth it to me. Lots of food at the cost of water. We should be able to overproduce our water, correct? Just a little bit, not by much. But that means that I don't mind having as much food before winter, so I think we could afford to just get some storage there, and we will do that. Water-wise, we're really pushing it, so if I can get 1 more stamina, I'd like to get an upgrade to the well just to make sure that we're going to be safe. Let's go ahead and build out the next shack. We're trying to get up to that population 4. I've got a little bit of time. This is a little on the risky side to do, but we're going to try for this. And let's start training up our 2nd fighter, because we're going to need the 2nd fighter, unfortunately. Otherwise, we are going to die. We need to get some more technology as well, because as our population grows up to Tech 4, they're going to start demanding some more things here pretty soon. Let's go ahead and get that well I had been talking about. Winter is hitting. It's not the worst winter, to be honest. It's kind of only 4 months, so like it could be a lot worse, but don't underestimate it. It is still quite dangerous. I'll do 1 scavenge there. I think food-wise we're okay at the moment. Anything else jump out at me as really important? I think we just save up for some tech, and then we may want to do some additional scavenging for the food. So there's that population. We need to go ahead and get the small town square since our morale is starting to drop. That finishes that objective. Now we have to clear out the infestations. So this is why I was working on getting the 2 fighters. Now I want to have the tech so that we're going to be able to fight them pretty effectively. I'll get myself a makeshift kitchen there. Food's still looking pretty good considering, so I'm going to ignore some of this. I do feel like I need to get another fire pit, though, just to keep my morale high, because right now it is really just sort of hovering there. But with this much food sitting around, maybe we can afford to go for the next level of tech. And with the next level of tech, I do feel like I will be able to take on these infestations without much of an issue. Now's a good time, by the way, to go ahead and do a scavenge since I've used a lot of my stuff up. That's a lot of fuel to lose, which sucks, so we may need to do another scavenge along there. I'm not worried about getting an improved house or some more toilets for the moment. We're kind of okay where we are. Let's get that food. I don't want to lose any more morale. Looking a little dicey here, just a little bit. We're kind of just sort of floating along. But with the extra strength, I think now we can go ahead and start exploring all of these nearby regions. We need to find these infestations and then clear them out as fast as we can. All right, so far things are looking pretty good here. I'm okay with exploring this, then moving along here, trying to draw these zombies out so we can then clear them. Also, by simply leaving my fighter in this region, there's a good chance that we can make it cheaper to claim this in the future, which I do think would be worthwhile. Still struggling on things like food. I'm going to go ahead and do another scavenge since we're not going to have food immediately after the winter ends. My morale is starting to drop pretty quickly, but we're about to solve the fuel issue. Morale is now at a critical state. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay. Here come the zombies, so that is now a thing. I'm still out of food. Good God, please scavenge a little faster. Let's go for some more grain fields. There we go. All right, so solve this problem. We're losing a lot of authority right now. These zombies are getting dealt with, though, so now we can move up here and go for the quick infestation. We did get a claim reduction here, so that's fine. We'll just go ahead and claim that now. Now, notice that there is no crossing in this river, so you don't have to explore this in order to go ahead and move on to the fight. That's why I was okay with doing what I'm doing. But you will want to have it before you move on to these zombies. This group right here is the trap that can kill you. There's a small pocket right here. If you don't find a way to clear them first before engaging, you're probably not going to have enough strength to deal with them. All right, you have to clear out the quick group that popped up there, then cleanse this like so. I'm going to go for a medium storage for some food because we're going to start producing a lot of food here in just a bit. Fuel's looking fine so far, not worried about any of that, so let's just go ahead and pull back for a second and think about how we want to charge and attack this. So if I move up over here, we would be able to maybe draw these zombies out. There's a possibility we end up fighting both, but that's actually kind of okay with me if that does happen. I'm going to move here first because if I can claim this region, maybe we can draw these zombies out so there's not a lot of reinforcements to join in, so let's do that. Okay, they are not enraged, so I'm not worried about it yet. Let's go ahead and move over here. Now, if these guys attack and I start getting overwhelmed, I can just pull back. I'm not holding anything here. There's nothing important, so it's okay if we just retreat and then deal with them on our own footing. Not a problem at all. Let's go ahead and get ourselves another grain storage, some more medium storage here. I do not want to have a repeat of last time. These zombies are agitated, so I don't have to taunt them. Just wait for a second. They will come to me. We'll deal with them real quick. Here's some more zombies, by the way, crossing this river. They may come and attack me right here, and they are. Okay, this actually now is dangerous, so now that's where we pull back. See, that got very unlucky. We had a whole bunch of zombies cross over here at the wrong time. Then these guys got attracted, so now there's way too much strength. Pull back somewhere else, and we'll deal with them elsewhere. What else we want to do along here? Morale is dropping a little bit. I can afford to get myself a toilet. Let's go for a charcoal pit, get that firewood building up a little faster. They're going to attack me here, but at least now I have the settlement helping. So we have enough strength that we're going to be able to deal with the zombies that were in this corner, the roaming group that just attacked me, and we should be able to deal with the infestation and then run in and clean up before my impatience really is kicking in. Now, my timing on this is all a little bit off only because I'm playing as the tyrant, so I'm not positive that my timing is perfect here. It may be that we're actually still moving a little bit too slow, but it feels okay. I'm going to get a lot of storage, by the way. A lot of storage to make sure that we do not have any stacking issues. I want to be able to sustain a large population. Let's go ahead and build 2 more shacks, because we know we need to get up to population 8 pretty soon, so now's not a bad time to go ahead and start working on that. Let the children help for scavenging? Maybe, or we could just go for a lot of morale and authority, and I think I'll take that. I mean, all of these are good, to be honest. They're all very, very good to have. Sometimes you're going to want to have the stamina, sometimes you want to have the better bubbles. I'm just going for raw score here. Might be a little aggressive on my part, but that's what I'm going for. So now I need to claim 8 areas. The obvious ones would be to start heading in this direction so that I can claim this extra forest, because we're going to need that to sustain a larger population. So I'll probably end up claiming this orchard. If I can draw these zombies out, this would be ideal, maybe. We have to send a fighter over here real quick to deal with the rabble who are trying to fight. They're going to take some damage, most likely. We lose a little bit of morale. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. Let's go ahead and taunt these guys out of here. They're going to come over in this direction. We'll cleanse them out. There's another pop. We need to get a small tavern, since our morale is going to start dropping pretty quickly here. So this gets cleaned out. Perfect. Here comes some more. Let's go ahead and claim the forest. And we can go for, let's say, another lumber yard. How are we doing as far as our stockpile? We've got a lot of food. Fuel is still a little lower than I would like, so we may end up having to do another scavenge, but I'll get myself 2 more charcoal pits just so we will be able to continue producing as much as possible even throughout the winter. That deals with all the zombie threats on the map on our side of the river. We don't have to explore down here. We could, but it's not so bad. So now our fighters mostly just have to deal with roaming groups, or better yet, maybe just go ahead and reduce any claim costs and stuff like that. There's a huge storm going on as I record this, by the way. I don't know if you you can hear that thunder, but it is going around. Anyway, claim the region. Boom, done. Thank you. All right. We have finished building wide. All that matters now is building tall. I need to get as much technology as I can. 13 food? I take a 79% chance of nausea. We lose some morale. Okay, fine. We lose a bit of morale. I'm not losing 13 food. That's ridiculous. It's not going to happen. Let's go ahead and scavenge some fuel here. What else do we want to do? We could go for the basic bathhouse. How are we doing on water production? A little bit iffy there. We'll just go ahead and just boost that up as the population continues to grow. We're going to get to 6 population here fairly soon. So we're gonna need the extra water for sure. Let's pick up the basic bathhouse. Now, people are gonna start getting angry because we have to have the next level of technology before we get up to population 7. So that's one of the reasons I'm not worrying about growing any additional shacks quite yet. It is far more important that we go for tech. Also, our objective is to get to tech 5. So, like, it's fine. It's not a big deal. Fuel... I really don't want to lose the region. 24% chance is a little bit too high for my taste. We definitely need to do a couple more scavenges. We can only do 1. All right, we'll go for a charcoal pit instead. That may have really just messed me up because we're going to be low on fuel there. It was pushing it as it was, but we're trying to overproduce on this just a little bit. Just need to survive for a little longer, just a little longer. Get up to tech 7. Sorry, 7 stamina. Then we can go for tech number 4. We need to get some wood for that. Grain production is fine. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and take that for the extra food. I'm not really suffering for food, but maybe it'll be okay. We are really, really, really hurting for fuel here. My morale is barely holding on, but if we can get there for just a little bit longer, we will be fine. Let's scavenge some food and go for a fruit orchard because I'm going to need some more food while I wait for things to grow. There's the tech. Okay. So we're up to tech 4. That means I can now move toward population 7, which I will do once I have enough wood. Which, speaking of wood, we are really struggling on that front. So let's go for a scavenge and another lumberyard there. The extra scavenge just being to help kickstart the economy a little bit, since right now we're a little on the slow side. 7% authority lost again. Playing as a tyrant can be quite rough. Whenever you lose authority, you tend to lose an absolute ton. Not a fan of that. Not a fan of that at all. Let's go for the charcoal pit there. Food-wise, I'm really not feeling worried about any of this yet. I could go for more storage, but I think I'd rather go ahead and get the makeshift carpenter going just to make sure my morale is protected. And we have to start thinking about how we're going to go for the next level of technology. So I need 9 stamina to do that. Let's go ahead and queue up the last house we're going to need. So that's going to be 8 population sustained. So as soon as we finish up with tech 5, we will be able to move on. My morale's looking really good right now, so I don't feel too bad picking up the next population. Let's go ahead and grab Technology 5. That will complete the objective, again, before the impatience has kicked in. I do see that water's starting to look a little bit antsy. Let's grab a medium storage, just to make sure that the issue isn't... Oh, hang on, people are getting angry. Make sure that the issue isn't just that we need more storage as a buffer, since we're consuming too much, like, per day. There's tech 5. Okay, so that's now done. I'm going to pull back over here with my fighter. We did unlock the stone, so all I need to do is get that last population. So it looks pretty dire right now. Like, my morale's not looking great. But what I'm going to do now is just go ahead and queue up a quick scavenge of some stone, and then we can do probably another scavenge. That's it. So we're about to win the scenario. It looks like we're kind of just holding on a little bit. But let's go for that 8 population. Done. Then we just go ahead and start scavenging up the stone, and we're done. Easy. See what I mean? This scenario is really not that bad. You just kind of build wide and just play what feels natural, and boom. I didn't get quite the same score I had as last time, but I did pretty well. And that was with a really rough leader that lost me a lot of authority and horrible traits compared to my god roll from the first time. So yeah, this map's really not that bad. I'd say it's actually one of the easiest of the second campaign. Just play intelligently. Everything will hopefully work out just fine. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If so, I'd ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, hit that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.